What if the most anabolic, muscle-building food in your kitchen right now isn't hiding in a $60 tub with a picture of a shredded guy on the label? What if it's sitting quietly behind the eggs in your refrigerator, and it's been there since long before refrigerators existed? Here's a question for you. How many half-used containers of protein powder are currently gathering dust in your pantry right now, next to the vitamins you forgot to take and the treadmill that's become a very expensive coat rack? Be honest. We've been sold the idea that real strength has to come from a scoop and a shaker bottle. But 3,000 years before protein window was a fitness buzzword, God's people were already eating the answer, and it's written right there in Scripture, plain as day, for anyone willing to actually look. Think about the last potluck you sat through at church. Long tables sagging under casseroles, the deviled eggs gone within 5 minutes, somebody's fried chicken disappearing before the closing prayer was even finished, and the sad little veggie tray sitting mostly untouched in the corner. Nobody needed a nutrition label to know which dishes actually had staying power. Real food has always announced itself. Today we're doing this list differently. 12 biblical protein foods, same book, same promise of strength, but this time we're flipping the order completely. Starting with the food that will make you put your fork down mid-bite, and closing with the verse that started this whole obsession with rebuilding the body the right way in the first place. Let's get into it. Number 1. Cottage cheese, kefir, and curds. Sports scientists have spent the last 15 years running expensive, controlled studies to prove something your great-grandmother already knew with nothing but a spoon and a bowl. Researchers gave athletes a slow-digesting dairy protein about 30 minutes before bed, then measured what happened while they slept. Their bodies kept building and repairing muscle all night long, at a measurably higher rate than the group that went to bed empty-handed, and the effect held up even in men in their 70s, not just 20-year-old gym regulars. That slow-digesting protein has a name you already know: casein. And the cheapest, most old-fashioned way to get a real dose of it isn't a $70 tub. It's a bowl of cottage cheese or a glass of kefir. Ever lie in bed at 11 at night, scrolling fitness videos, quietly panicking that you missed your protein window for the day? Somebody solved that problem a long time before hashtags existed. Scripture treats curds as more than a snack. Isaiah 7 describes the coming Messiah eating curds and honey plain, humble dairy, that he may know to refuse the evil and choose the good. And in 2 Samuel 17, when King David is at his absolute lowest, exhausted and fleeing for his life during his own son's rebellion, the people who come to help him don't hand him a bar or a shake. They bring him cheese made from the herd, alongside beans, lentils, and honey, because that is what a depleted man actually needed to keep moving. If a king on the run got fed curds and cheese to survive, you can probably let go of the idea that recovery requires a flashy label. Start simple. Swap your evening scroll and snack habit for half a cup of plain, full-fat cottage cheese or a small glass of kefir about 30 minutes before bed. You're not just satisfying a craving. You're feeding the exact biological window your body uses to rebuild itself while you sleep. Number 2. Sprouted grain bread. Quick question. When's the last time bread wasn't treated like the villain in a diet conversation? Every plan out there tells you to run from it. So here's the twist. One of the most complete protein-rich foods described anywhere in the Bible is technically a loaf of bread. In Ezekiel chapter 4, God gives the prophet an extremely specific recipe: wheat, barley, beans, lentils, millet, and spelt, all combined into a single loaf. That's not a random grocery list. Nutritionally, it's a small miracle. Grains alone are missing certain essential amino acids. Beans and lentils are missing others. Combined the way Ezekiel was instructed to combine them, You get all 9 essential amino acids your body can't manufacture on its own, a genuinely complete protein, in bread form, 3,000 years before food scientists coined the term complementary protein. Here's the part almost nobody mentions. When whole grains are sprouted, allowed to germinate slightly before milling, it kicks off a natural process that breaks down some of the compounds normally blocking your body from absorbing minerals like zinc and iron. The sprouted version isn't just a nicer story. It's measurably easier for your body to use. Picture the guilt spiral after polishing off half a basket of rolls at a church potluck. Now picture a version of bread. A literal prophet was commanded to build an entire survival diet around a little different, right? Start simple. Next grocery run, put down the white sandwich loaf and pick up sprouted whole grain bread. Instead, check the label for the word sprouted. Pair a slice with hummus or a lentil spread, and you've basically rebuilt Ezekiel's recipe without trying very hard at all. Number 3. Pistachios. Here's a fact that will win you the argument at Bible study snack time. Multiple independent research teams, including one out of Louisiana State University, have measured the melatonin content in pistachios and consistently found it ranks among the highest of any nut, tested notably higher than almonds or walnuts in side-by-side lab comparisons. Melatonin, in case the name doesn't ring a bell, is the exact hormone your own brain produces to help you fall asleep. One small study did find that eating a normal handful didn't meaningfully raise melatonin measured in participants' saliva afterward, so nobody's claiming a bag of pistachios replaces a sleep aid. But it's a strange, wonderful detail that this particular nut, of all nuts, naturally carries more of that sleep compound than almost anything else in the produce aisle. Ever bought a $25 bottle of sleep gummies at the pharmacy and walked right past a bag of pistachios, quietly doing something similar? In Genesis 43, when Jacob needs to send the finest possible gift to appease the most powerful man in Egypt, a man he doesn't yet realize is his own son, Joseph, he tells his sons to pack the best fruits in the land: balm, honey, spices, myrrh, and what the King James Version simply calls nuts, widely understood by later translations and scholars to mean pistachios, listed right alongside almonds, treasured enough to sit next to myrrh. That's not a snack aisle afterthought. That's a king's gift. Start simple. Instead of a melatonin gummy or a second coffee shop pastry at 9 at night, try 15 to 20 in-shell pistachios about an hour before bed. Real plant protein, magnesium, potassium, and a small fascinating nod to a compound your body already relies on to wind down. Number 4. Quail and pasture-raised poultry. There's a scene in Exodus that content creators today would call unbelievable if it weren't sitting inside a book with a 2,000-year track record. Exodus 16 describes quail arriving in such numbers in the evening that they blanketed an entire camp of well over 1 million exhausted, hungry people. Not a hunting trip, not a market run. Dinner delivered. Next time you're standing in the grocery store staring at 4 nearly identical packages of chicken breast, trying to decode which label actually means something and which one is just marketing, remember, the people in that wilderness didn't need a free-range sticker. Free-range wasn't a marketing term yet. It was simply what dinner was. Quail and other pasture-raised birds pack a genuinely high amount of complete protein into a small, lean package, with a fraction of the saturated fat found in the cheapest, most crowded, factory-farmed chicken, plus a strong dose of B vitamins your body uses to actually convert food into usable energy instead of just storing it. Here's a question worth sitting with. If an entire nation in the middle of a desert could be fed lean, clean protein without a supply chain, a delivery app, or a single drive-through window, what does that say about how complicated we've made eating well for ourselves? Imagine trying to explain a 24-ingredient chicken nugget to somebody standing in that camp. Start simple. Next time you're at the store or the farmer's market, choose organic, pasture-raised poultry or game birds over the cheapest option on the shelf. It costs a little more. It was also, quite literally, sent as provision once before, and your body can usually tell the difference between food that was raised well and food that was merely produced quickly. Number 5. Bone broth. Your grandmother boiled bones for 2 straight days, called it soup, and never once asked for a peer-reviewed citation. Science took considerably longer to catch up, but it did. The star ingredient in bone broth is an amino acid called glycine, and researchers find it genuinely interesting for 2 separate reasons. First, it's one of the core building blocks your body uses to maintain the collagen that cushions your joints and connects muscle to bone. Second, and this is the part almost nobody mentions, clinical studies out of Japan found that around 3 grams of glycine taken before bed helped people fall asleep faster, spend more time in deep, restorative sleep, and wake up feeling noticeably less foggy. A single mug of broth won't match a concentrated clinical dose gram for gram, but you're still feeding your body real food-based glycine, the same molecule researchers were studying in a lab. So bone broth isn't only an old folk remedy for achy joints. It may genuinely be doing double duty on your sleep, which happens to be the exact window your body relies on most for repair. Proverbs 3, in the plain old King James wording, promises that walking in wisdom shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones, marrow being the literal, physical source of exactly the nutrients a long simmered broth pulls out of bone. Ever notice how the generation that drank bone broth without a single research citation to their name also seemed to complain a lot less about their knees? Start simple. 1 warm mug of bone broth in the morning or evening, on its own or as the base for soup. Give it a few consistent weeks before you decide whether your joints or your sleep have anything to say about it. Number 6. Eggs. For nearly 50 years, official U.S. dietary guidelines told Americans to cap cholesterol intake at under 300 milligrams a day, which in practice meant fear the yolk. Since 1 yolk alone gets you most of the way there, an entire generation grew up scooping yolks out of deviled eggs like they were handling something dangerous. Then in 2015, the U.S. Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee reviewed the accumulated research and quietly did something institutions almost never do. They reversed course. The 300 milligram daily cholesterol cap was removed entirely, and the committee stated plainly that dietary cholesterol is no longer considered a nutrient of concern for the general population. Multiple large studies, some following participants for over 3 decades, found no meaningful link between ordinary egg consumption and heart disease risk. You know that one relative at Thanksgiving who still scoops every yolk out of the deviled eggs because the yolk is basically poison? The government quietly changed its mind on that almost a decade ago. Nobody sent her the memo, which is fitting, because the egg has always carried more weight in scripture than breakfast item. In Luke 11, Jesus uses it as the picture of a good, obvious gift. Or if he shall ask an egg, will he offer him a scorpion? The whole point of the verse is that a decent father hands his child something wholesome, not something dangerous. And it turns out the yolk itself, the very part people spent 50 years avoiding, is where most of the actual nutrition lies. Choline for brain function, and leucine, one of the strongest natural signals your body has for building muscle. Start simple. Eat 2 whole eggs for breakfast, yolks included, instead of an egg white only omelette. You were taught to fear the best part. It's worth reconsidering that. Number 7. Chickpeas and beans. Every extended family has one person who refuses to touch beans at a cookout because of what beans are famously known for doing. Here's the twist. That reaction is honestly a small sign. Your gut bacteria are having a genuinely good day. Beans and chickpeas are loaded with a type of fiber called resistant starch, which your body can't fully digest on its own, and that's exactly the point. It travels down to your gut bacteria, who ferment it and produce short-chain fatty acids, compounds increasingly linked in research to a healthier gut lining and lower inflammation throughout the body. The side effect people joke about is honestly just proof. The process is working. This is the same food group God gave the prophet Ezekiel as part of his complete protein survival bread back in chapter 4. Wheat, barley, beans, lentils, millet, and spelt, all in a single loaf. Beans weren't filler in that recipe. They were structural. We tend to treat beans like a poverty food or a punchline, something you tolerate rather than choose. Maybe something grandma made because meat was expensive that week and nobody wanted to say so out loud. But paired with a grain rice, that same sprouted bread, even a tortilla beans and chickpeas, form a complete protein that keeps blood sugar steady and keeps you full for hours instead of 45 minutes. Start simple. Add half a cup of chickpeas to your regular salad or soup rotation. Small, unglamorous step. Your gut bacteria will notice immediately, even if nobody else at the table does, and neither, thankfully, will your dinner guests notice anything else. Number 8. Goat's milk. Here's something worth sitting with. A lot of people who've sworn off dairy for years because it leaves them bloated and miserable aren't actually reacting to lactose. The sugar most people blame, they may be reacting to a specific protein found in standard cow's milk. Goat's milk carries almost none of that particular protein, along with naturally smaller fat globules that are considerably easier for your digestive system to break down. That's a real structural difference, not just marketing language on a carton. If you've ever felt personally betrayed by a glass of milk, drank it, then spent the next hour regretting every decision that led you there. The actual problem might not be dairy as a category. It might be specifically which dairy. Proverbs 27, in the King James wording, promises goat's milk enough for thy food, enough for the whole household, not just yourself. In the world this proverb was written for, goat's milk wasn't a specialty item from a farmer's market. It was the dependable, everyday provision that meant a family wouldn't go hungry, mentioned right alongside verses about diligence and managing well what you've been given. Goat's milk also delivers real, easily absorbed calcium and quality protein for muscle and bone. It just tends to sit far easier on a lot of stomachs than the heavily processed cow's milk filling most store shelves today. Start simple. Next grocery trip, swap your usual milk or a slice of cheese for the goat's milk or goat cheese version. If your stomach has been quietly holding a grudge against dairy, this might be the peace treaty. Number 7. Lamb. Bodybuilders spend real money, $30 or $40 a tub, on a supplement called creatine, one of the most heavily researched performance compounds in all of sports science. Here's what most of them never stop to consider while mixing that powder into a shaker bottle. Creatine occurs naturally in red meat, lamb very much included. Moses' generation didn't need a shaker bottle. They just ate the lamb. Exodus, 12 places roasted lamb at the center of the very first Passover. Eaten the night an entire nation was set free and needed strength for a journey out of slavery into the unknown. This wasn't a symbolic garnish. It was fuel for people about to walk a long, hard road. Grass-fed lamb brings complete protein, iron, zinc, vitamin B12, and naturally occurring creatine to the table, along with a beneficial fat called conjugated linoleic acid. Here's a detail that surprises people. The iron in red meat, called heme iron, is absorbed by your body far more efficiently than the iron found in spinach or beans. Years of headlines telling you to fear red meat rarely mention that not all iron sources are created equal. Ever notice that the meal served on the most important night in Israel's history wasn't a symbolic wafer? It was a full, real roasted piece of meat, meant to actually sustain the people eating it for what came next. Start simple. Once this month, source a quality, grass-fed cut of lamb for a family meal. You're not just eating dinner. You're eating the same fuel a nation ate the night. It walked out of 400 years of slavery. Number 10. Almonds. Here's a fact that will win you the argument at literally any Bible study snack table. Almonds aren't technically nuts. Botanically, they're the seed found inside a fruit closely related to peaches and cherries, a fuzzy stone fruit cousin most people never see because we only ever encounter the seed inside. Somewhere, a botanist is thrilled you finally asked. Semantics aside, almonds carry a genuinely interesting compound called L-arginine, an amino acid your body converts into nitric oxide, the same molecule behind those popular pump pre-workout supplements lining gym store shelves. Nitric oxide helps relax and widen your blood vessels, meaning more oxygen and nutrients reach the muscles actively trying to recover. In Genesis 43, almonds sit on the exact same short list as pistachios, honey, and myrrh, the finest products of the land, worthy of a king. Not a leftover, not filler, a treasured, deliberate choice. We tend to snack from a place of guilt, grabbing whatever's closest, regretting it before the wrapper's even fully open, then quietly hiding the evidence at the bottom of the trash can like a teenager. Almonds flip that script. Real plant protein, healthy fat, magnesium, and vitamin E, one of the most studied antioxidants in nutrition science, all in a food ancient enough to have once been worth sending to Egyptian royalty. Start simple. Keep a small container of raw, unsalted almonds within reach for the 3 o'clock slump, instead of reaching for a processed bar loaded with ingredients you can't pronounce. A small, ancient, thoroughly researched swap. Number 11. Fish. Of every food available in first century Judea, think about what was specifically placed in front of Jesus right after the resurrection, in the exact moment he most needed to prove to his own terrified disciples that he wasn't a ghost. Luke 24 records that they gave him a piece of broiled fish, and in the King James wording most of our grandparents grew up reading, a piece of honeycomb alongside it. He ate it in front of them, not as a symbolic gesture, as proof of a real, physical, functioning body. We've all got an uncle who insists fish oil pills are basically just expensive fish burps in a gel cap. Here's where it gets genuinely interesting. Research out of Washington University found that omega-3 fatty acids didn't just sit there being anti-inflammatory. They appeared to enhance the muscle-building response to a meal, essentially making the protein you already ate work harder for you. Later reviews on this have found mixed results across different age groups, so scientists are still working out exactly how strong or reliable the effect really is. But the original finding is real, and it reframes fish as more than a joint and brain food. It may be a genuine training partner for the protein already sitting on your plate. Fatty fish like wild-caught salmon, sardines, and mackerel remain one of the richest natural sources of the two headline omega-3s, EPA, and DHA, both consistently linked to lower inflammation and better recovery. Start simple. Aim for wild-caught fatty fish twice a week. Many people notice less joint stiffness and sharper mental focus within a month, and you'll be eating the exact food Jesus chose, of all the options available to him, to prove something true and physical had happened. Number 12. Lentils. And here's the one that started all of this. The food so ordinary that most people walk straight past it in the grocery store without a second thought. Genesis 25 tells the story of a man named Esau who came in from the field exhausted and hungry and traded his entire birthright, his inheritance, his family's future, his place in the covenant God made with his grandfather Abraham for a single bowl of lentil stew. 2,000 years of sermons have used that trade as a warning about impulsive decisions. Almost none of them mention that the food itself, the actual lentils Jacob was cooking that day, genuinely deserved to be fought over. Lentils are one of the most protein-dense, fiber-rich, slow-digesting foods available anywhere on Earth, loaded with iron and folate, and current research into legume polyphenols suggests lentils carry a meaningfully higher antioxidant load than most other beans. Pair them with a grain like rice, the same complementary protein trick behind Ezekiel's bread, and you get all 9 essential amino acids from 2 of the cheapest ingredients in any grocery store. Here's a modern detail that would have meant nothing to Esau, but might mean something to you. Lentils require a small fraction of the water and land that animal protein does, making them one of the most efficient protein sources per acre on the planet. Ancient food, thoroughly modern relevance. Somewhere out there is a guy who traded his entire inheritance for a bowl of soup, and we've spent 2,000 years talking about how foolish that trade was. But maybe the real twist worth remembering is this: the soup itself was never the foolish part. What you actually build your body with rarely is. Start simple. Replace one heavy meat-based meal a week with a warm bowl of spiced lentil stew. It's the food this whole story started with, the most humble, most overlooked item on this entire list, and it turns out to be one of the most genuinely powerful. None of this needs to happen overnight, and none of it requires clearing out everything currently in your pantry. Pick one. Let it become a habit before you add the next. And if you're managing a health condition or taking medication, talk to your doctor before making any major changes. Real stewardship of your body includes good judgment, not just good intentions. If any one of these 12 landed today, if you caught yourself nodding along, or thinking of somebody specific while I talked about the bone broth or the lentils, do 2 small things. First, drop the word strength in the comments. Not because a comment moves an algorithm, but because it genuinely helps me know this reached the people it was meant for. Second, think of the one person in your life who's been quietly running on empty, low energy, stuck in a fitness rut, tired of the same tub of powder that never seemed to do much. Send them this video. You don't need a caption. You don't need to explain yourself. Just send it. Sometimes the most caring thing you can do for someone is hand them one piece of information at exactly the right moment. If this kind of content is useful to you, go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications. We put one of these out every single week, and you genuinely don't want to miss the next list. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Truly, not just for watching, but for caring enough about the people in your life to still be looking for real answers instead of settling for whatever's loudest on the shelf. That says something good about you. Your body isn't a project to punish into shape. It's a temple you've been trusted with for exactly 1 lifetime. Not perfectly, not all at once, just faithfully. 1 honest, humble food at a time. The same way it's been done since long before any of us showed up. God bless you, and take good care of your temple